Double closings are great to use when necessary. However, they come at a price, so tread carefully. Sometimes you just have to do a double closing to close your transaction. But there are things to watch out for and be conscious of when doing them. And I'm here to let you know what to watch out for. Hi, I'm Devron.
And I'm Courtney.
And we want to buy your house.
We're the husband and wife team that buys houses for cash.
We buy inherited houses, bad tenant houses, behind in payment houses,
And even land, multifamily, and small apartment buildings.
We love to buy fixer-upper houses that need thousands in repairs.
Or houses in perfect condition that you need to sell fast.
Plus, pay no commissions or fees.
It's that easy. Call Homevine for a fair cash offer.
Call 877-721-SELL.
That's 877-721-SELL.
Hi, I'm devronglenn, and I'm a real estate investor. I flip millions of dollars worth of real estate and own over a dozen rental properties. In this video, I'm going to share with you a few of the cons of doing a double closing. If you do not know what a double closing is, I have a video that I made explaining it and how they can be effective. If you haven't seen it yet, pause this video and go watch that video so you have a basic understanding on what double closings are and how they can help your real estate business. Now let's dive in. Double closings are great until you realize that you are being treated like an actual buyer. Because in reality, you are buying the property. So just like any normal real estate transaction where the buyer is purchasing the property, there are fees and closing costs. These closing costs consist of title fees, title insurance, and local taxes such as state tax, stamps, intangible, and county taxes. Unfortunately, you will have to pay all of this at closing, even though you are immediately selling the property within the same transaction. This is extremely important to be aware of because it affects your profit on the deal. Whereas in an assignment, there are no fees and closing costs that will affect your profit. You can try to negotiate with the end buyer that they pay your first side closing costs, or ask the title company for a sample HUD so you know exactly what your closing costs will be, so you can add that into your markup to the end buyer. Another reason why you should strongly consider not doing a double closing is because the title company or attorney that you're working with may not allow you to use the end buyer's funds to fund the first side. Some title companies will allow you to use the funds from the second side of the double closing to fund the first side. This is called a simultaneous closing. This is helpful because then you don't have to get what's called transactional funding to close the deal. If you don't know what transactional funding is, I have a video that goes more in depth on transactional funding and how it can help your real estate business. Unfortunately, if you don't work with a title company that does this, then you would need to figure out a way to fund the first side. And you more than likely would do this through transactional funding. The thing about transactional funding is that the company you use will charge you a fee to use their service. And of course, those are fees that eat into your profit. In a normal assignment, you pass all your liability on to the end buyer who is purchasing the property. When in a double closing, you are responsible for closing on the property with the seller. So if you fail to perform based on the contract and do not close, then you lose your escrow deposit. This is why it is wise for you to only participate in double closings once you have money that you could potentially afford to lose. I do not recommend doing a double closing if you're just starting, or to only do double closings with end buyers you can trust and have closed with before. It is wise to make sure that your end buyer deposits earnest money equaling the same amount you put in on the first side, or more. That way, if the end buyer does back out, you can collect their escrow deposit and you don't lose yours on the first side. This has actually happened to me, and I learned a valuable lesson from it. I thought I could trust the end buyer. The property had fire damage, and the end buyer decided at the last minute it was too much for them to handle. So they decided to back out. As a result, I lost my earnest money on the first side to the seller. But I collected the end buyer's deposit on the second side, which actually ended up being more than what I deposited on the first side. So I actually made a small profit. Point being is to just make sure your end buyer makes an escrow deposit on the second side, ideally more than what you deposited on the first side, if you choose to do a double closing. If you got value out of this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next video.